Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Better, a show about two longtime friends trying their best, growing up, and hopefully getting better. I'm Zach Johnson.
And I'm Sam Cherry.
Hey, and we are back with yet another just very newsless week, a very newsless day. And it's amazing this is happening over and over again, that absolutely nothing has been happening. But
this is less stressful than last week where there was no news. This week, I actually think I could ignore the news.
Yeah.
Although the president,
it was mostly symbolically no news.
Yeah. The fact that the president made an apology video, not to avoid impeachment, but to try and get his Twitter account back, was probably the bright spot of my day. Like the fact that he doesn't give a shit about getting impeached, but he really wants his Twitter account back. Like,
yeah.
That fucking rocks.
Yeah, someone said something to the effect of him getting his Twitter taken away will hurt him more than all the impeachments. Than either of them.
Than losing the president, than anything. Him just not being able to be on Twitter. Yes, obviously.
Him not being able to rile his base, which is funny because you would think that he would be, because he just
hates them.
Yeah, not only hates them, but also just tweets shit and then never responds back to them. You know, you'd think he'd be all over the mentions, but do you think he ever read his mentions? Do you think that he would say some wild shit and then be kind of looking, scanning through the people and seeing who defends him and stuff? Or do you think it was just he did it and then was tight, let's roll?
So I don't think that he does read those. From what I understand, a lot of the times his tweets are dictated. Mm-hmm. So he'll just sort of yell and be like, tweet this, and then just say it. So he's not reading any of it. But the other thing, they said this on Chapo, where they were because people are talking about how he should start his own social media network. But the thing is, the only people that would join Trump's social media network, other than you and me, and
all the good people at firstsocial.net,
of course, would be Trump supporters,
who
he hates. The rubes that the only people he cares about are the high society New York snobs that he's always trying to impress. He hates his supporters. So no, he's not going to start a social network.
Because the social media network would be all just pictures of him or pictures of
you, pictures of me,
pictures of you, pictures of me, something, pictures of you, pictures of me, pictures of AOC with her eyes very wide, and it says it's a picture of her next to Charles Manson, and it says maniac, and then for it says womaniac. And
then there's a hammer and sickle in the background.
Yeah. So it would be mostly that. Sam and I had a pretty good exposure to the world of the.
Are we going to talk about this?
I mean, we can if you want to. We can also just let it go. Well, we can just
I'm going to keep my username on the down low, but you go for it.
Okay, I'll say mine. I don't give a shit.
But you're doing a very different grift than I am.
Yeah. So basically, what's been happening in the world of Twitter is, as for those that do not know, for those that are from the past, and this is the very first thing you're listening to.
From the future.
I guess that's true as well. I was thinking of the movie Blast from the Past starring Brendan Fraser.
We are from the past. I'm not talking about fucking Brendan Fraser again. You know how I feel about him.
Oh, I'm sorry. The God King, Donald Trump, got his Twitter deleted. And because of that, a lot of
funniest thing that could have happened.
Yeah, which is the funniest thing that could have happened. A lot of people got up in arms about free speech, and a lot of people got up in arms about misunderstanding 1984, specifically 1984.
The Wonder Woman film.
Yeah, the Wonder Woman film, which
I also did not understand 1984. I'll be honest.
The Wonder Woman film.
It had a lot. There was a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. And also, this is just one thing I want to reference about the Wonder Woman film while we're on the topic. I want everyone to know, because I went back and I watched it again.
You watched it again?
No, because I had a hunch and I wanted to make sure I was right.
Okay.
The only character, there's two characters. There's two black characters. One is a boss and the only male black character is a homeless man with a heart of gold. And it's the homeless man that lives in like the park. And Kristen Wiig's character, the cheetah, whatever her actual name is, she like walks up and gives him like a sandwich or something. Goes like, "Well, thank you, Kristen Wiig. Yo, my best friend." And it's like, this is not looking good.
And then later when Kristen Wiig is girl bossing that guy to death.
Yeah, there's a scene where there's a scene where Kristen,
that's no good.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig is like kicking this guy, but she's like kicking him like yards and yards at a time because she has superpowers. And the only male black character pops out and then says like, "Kristen Wiig, that ain't who you are." And it's just like, and then she says, "Mind your business." And that is the last time we see that character. And I was like, that is 100% wild.
Who was the boss?
It was their boss.
Whose boss?
It was
their boss at the museum?
Yeah, it was Wonder Woman. It's like, "Hey, Wonder Woman and Kristen Wiig, I need y'all to talk to this dude, this Pedro Pascal from The Mandalorian. Remember him? I need you guys to talk to him about something." So
he's not black. What? Did you mean like?
No, exactly. It's such an inconsequential character. The only reason I know about it is because I had to go through and watch it again.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Kristen Wiig.
Pedro Pascal's not black.
Kristen Wiig and Gal Gadot have a boss at the museum, and it's this woman. Okay. And she has 2 lines of dialogue. One is like, "Shut up, Kristen Wiig. You're not hot. I would talk to you if you were hot." Like, and then the next time she's like, "Kristen Wiig, I don't really get it right now, but like you're hot, so I'm
strangely horny for you."
Yeah, so now I'm gonna give you this job, and then she is blipped off the planet. But the one that is the most egregious, I think, is the only black character, the only black male character is this intensely antiquated like homeless man who is only there to like show that one of our characters is bad and we didn't need him. But
to be fair, I believe on a big whiteboard when they were writing the movie, it was men equal bad. So they were like, well, if we write a man, he has to be cartoonishly evil.
Yeah.
So they're like,
and every single non-male character, they have to have one line of dialogue, which is like, "Hey, hot cheeks," or like, "Look at that sweet ass, sister."
Yeah. Well, and I think actually, you know what? Because these films are kind of written by like a social justice algorithm.
Yeah.
Like, I think I can do the math here, which is like, okay, we want her to be sympathetic. All right, what's sympathetic? Being nice to homeless people. Got it. All right, homeless woman. That's no good. That makes me too sad. All right, homeless man. Yeah, but men are evil. We'll make him a person of color. Perfect.
Yeah.
Now he can be sympathetic and a man because we've worked the Matrix.
Yes, and mind you,
and buy our merch.
Sam and I are very pro, giving people a voice that are voiceless, but we are not pro pandering.
Corporations pimping that out. Yes. No.
That is the most corporation way of figuring out how to do that.
But they definitely did.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Where I think
that's what I hate about it.
I think the thing that you said is 100% right. Where they were just like, "Oh, like all men are evil, but we can only have 2 good men characters. One who is Chris Pine, who his whole friggin' thing is being so supportive, it ruins him of any character he previously had. Or 2, this very sweet homeless man."
Yeah, he was kind of macho in the first movie.
Yeah,
died, came back from the dead, sorta, and then he's like, "All right, no future shock. I'm here. Whatever."
Yeah, I'm here, and I'm here to be helpful.
Do your emotional labor. Are you good?
Yeah. How are things? Let's talk about you. I know that I have magically stolen the body of another person, which I've kind of gained that you and I are sort of cool with.
And he's in hell, I guess. I don't know where he is right now. Yeah. I guess he's in hell.
Yeah, I guess he's in hell.
Like I could have just come out of the ether and that would have been fine, but I guess the writers decided I should steal a body. in a way that will not be consequential to the plot.
In a way that, by the way, major Wonder Woman spoilers.
Who cares?
Exactly.
Hey guys, here's the spoiler. The movie's not very good.
Yeah, in a way, and like it is never addressed. Like, I will steal this guy's body, and then she's like, I only see you. And it's like, oh, that I would not consider to be a moral gray area of Wonder Woman. And then there's that.
Clear, she does not see Chris Pine. What she sees is this other man, but she knows that it is Chris Pine, which it is. They immediately
use his body for sex. Like,
which is very weird. But again, I just want to, like, it's magic. They could have just had him come back to life.
Yeah.
And in fact, the way that he dies is off screen. So he could have just like Avengered, dissolved away or whatever. He could have just Infinity Warred away and it wouldn't have been fine.
It's like they invented this incredibly complex moral problem and then never dealt with it. It's like, hey guys, you didn't have to invent this problem.
Yeah, it was like
we were already watching a Wonder Woman movie. We did I didn't need to like.
There's a magic wishing man. I don't care. Do whatever. They're like, no, this guy, he did take his body, and that other guy, he's somewhere. And it's like, okay, why though?
Yeah. Then at the end of the movie,
I want to be clear.
At the end of the movie, we see this guy, and he's like, I love snow. And Wonder Woman's like, tight, dog. I've seen your penis.
I've had sex with you, in fact. And you didn't know it.
You didn't know.
No, and so that's the other thing is I heard someone talk about that scene, the very last one, where it's like, I think the reference, because he's like, hey, I don't know how I got these clothes on, and I'm not worried about it. Also, everything's on fire, and I've been in hell for a week. But like, anyway, wearing this cool suit, I kind of like it. And it's a reference back to the montage scene, like the makeover scene.
Yeah.
And I guess that was an outfit that she picked out for Chris Pine, and he didn't like. And so the implication is like, this guy gets it. Which I don't understand why they put in the movie.
I think they put that in there just to, like, it seems like a reshoot where, like, they showed it to some audience and they were like, what happened to that guy? And then he shows up in that one scene just to basically be like, hey, I don't know you, but if you've hurt me in any way, like, you're good.
It would be like if every time someone got a wish, or like, no, it would be specifically like if when Kristen Wiig got her wish, a kid got cancer, and you just like cut to a kid getting cancer, and then they never went back to that kid. It was like, you didn't have to put this in the movie. Why'd you put that in the movie?
Yeah,
it never came back up.
Yeah, it was super
strange. No, I mean, when she got her wish, some kid got cancer from it. It's like, why? Yeah. This is made up. Why'd you do that?
And then, and there's that like, it is incredible. There's a sequence at the end where she's like, why do I never get what I want? And it's like, Wonder Woman, I cannot relate to you at all in this moment. I am so sorry, sister. Like, you're stealing a guy's body. Like, there's no coming back from this. Like, if you steal this guy's body later on when I'm watching Justice League, the Snyder cut for whatever, probably for this podcast.
Fuck yeah, we're watching that movie.
I'll just be like, Wonder Woman stole that guy's body. It's like, and if she's like, we can't do this, it's not the right thing. I'm just like, well, I guess it was the right thing to steal that dude's fucking body, I guess.
Well, she did. Okay, the problem is not that she knowingly stole his body. It's that, again, I don't even care about this really because they're made up. It's made up magic. It actually doesn't bother me. Yeah. But like the issue is that like it's someone else's body. You know that it is a real living man. You guys talk extensively about how he has an apartment and a whole life. Mm-hmm. And then you did have sex with him, but you know that his soul is in hell while you're doing it. And like, which honestly, that
gets me going.
That's pretty weird that you're like, hey, Chris Pine, I know that you're in this other human's body who's in hell right now, but we're gonna fuck. It's incredibly weird. But anyway, if you're wondering, hey, guys, if you're like, wait a minute, is my favorite podcast Get Better some fucking Gamergate guys? No, we're not. The movie's not bad because of like social justice reasons. The movie's bad because it's confusing and boring.
Yeah.
it's just funny to make fun of that stuff, but like
it is confusing and boring and 2 hours and 40 minutes long.
It's just boring. Like it's on that scale of like it's not a -10 like Justice League. It's a 0. It's just boring.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know. It just wasn't very. She flies. She flies in a way that's not bad. That it's like funny. It's just like It's boring. It's a boring movie.
So anyway, a bunch of conservatives didn't understand 1984, the Wonder Woman 1984, probably because of all probably because of all the Gamergate reasons that we do not abide by. Probably like
that's
because
not our deal, but also.
Yeah. So all these Gamergate guys made basically one that Sam and I have had run-ins with in the past.
I've never met this human.
Oh, never mind. One that I've had run-ins with in the past. Nothing like, serious, just like he's a guy I went to high school with who's like an asshole.
If they look up this site, they're going to figure it. I don't know why you're hiding that you like.
Oh no, I'm saying this because I will have plausible deniability. I have nothing like, what the audience does after they listen to this is not my business at all. I would have no way of knowing because I have to talk to the audience that isn't going to do that. And the ones that do, they do, and they figure it out. And you know what? I didn't tell them.
The guy that did this thing that we're about to explain, his name is Tyler Webster. I thought you were going to like try to skirt around the fact that you guys went to high school together, which is like, dude, his face is all over this site. They're going to figure it out. Like, there's no getting around it. They know your full name. They know his full name. They're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway. So Tyler Webster, a guy you went to high school with.
So anyway, he is this dude, and he does Trump-related media. He has his own website that he sells Trump paraphernalia. He has his own news organization. He's a rapper, but he was only a rapper he was a rapper for 29 days, and that's it. He decided it was in his best interest to kind of ride this wave of people being outraged at Twitter and Facebook, and he made his own website. This website bills itself as being the only as being totally free speech. And because of that,
they will not ban or censor anyone.
And because of that, the website is absolutely broken. It is horrendously broken.
And you did get banned the first day.
I don't think I got banned, actually. I think what happened was my account got deleted because the website is so shitty. Because immediately thereafter, I logged in, I created a new account with the exact same username and the exact same email, and it was like, you're good. So I think it was just because the system got goofed. But anyway, so we have seen firsthand a lot of those conservative type media folks, and much like Wonder Woman 1984, it is not exciting. I would put it like a negative, probably. Like some of it's funny because it's like people are saying ridiculous stuff, but once you've been on there for a few hours, you've seen about everything. And you've seen that most of it is like little polls that are like, should we trust the media? Or did Hillary kill Kilton? Did they kill a baby in 1987? And then the answers are like, the options for the answers are yes and hell yes. And then and all the comments are just like Hillary Clinton body count, whatever, stuff like that. All of this having been said,
no, but see, that's the thing. There aren't comments. Like people don't.
They only comment on they comment on my stuff.
Well, yeah, but the craziest person on that site is me talking about Jeffrey Epstein every day. Like I am by far the most unhinged person on that website, and it's a shame because they're all just like, "Do you own a gun? Yes, or yes, a bunch, or like, are you gonna stand with the president?" Every time you scroll through, and it's just, do you own a gun? Are you going to stand with the president? Nobody's talking about aliens. I go into the conspiracy group every fucking day, and I am absolutely the most buck wild person in there, and that is ridiculous.
And they're all saying stuff like basically, it's like they're regurgitating the same boring lies over and over again, or the same boring talking points. And it's
there's
just
so many interesting lies, and they don't do any of them.
You guys really have not. Yeah, it's very shallow wild people, it's like on terms of like the alt-right, this is the most vanilla alt-right ever. Like they just say the things like one thing that I've noticed is they're very pro Elon Musk, which is wild as hell. Because like I want to put a stop clock on how long it takes for them to turn on Elon Musk, because they're not gonna, they can't like him forever, because he's a part of that mysterious billionaire class that is trying to, give us a vaccine or whatever. Yeah, I think it's just because Elon Musk said something about he doesn't want to wear masks, and all of them were like, "We're boring, so you're our new hero." All of this having been said, if Trump were to create his own social media network, it would be mostly those things. And it would be boring as hell, and it would be a broken ass website where I could continue to be a global shoe salesman. And
your account is
fine. I wasn't going to say it, but yes,
I'll cut it.
Okay, well, yeah, because I want there to be some mystery about who I am.
Mystery, so when the viewers find out what your account is.
Well, here's the thing: I have 4 followers, and I think 2 of them are you.
No, only one of them is. I only have one. Okay, I don't need a fake account on this place. Like I've got my fake account, but I don't need more than one. It's awesome.
One of my favorite things to do on that website is follow people who are clearly pretending to be underage girls for the sole purpose of
you're going to jail. Don't do that.
No. So they all make little posts that are like trying to lure people in. And
they're trying to catch a predator.
Yeah, they try to catch a predator, and they're like, and they're not subtle about it. So what
they put pedo hunter in there.
It's like they'll say things like, I'm a stupid 15-year-old girl, and like I think that I should be able to have a gun and a Bible. Is that okay? And all the comments are like, I'm so proud of you. Hell yeah, finally not indoctrinated. Something like that.
So is it like a doing it for likes, or are they trying to hunt pedos?
They are clear, because like the one that got my attention was one of them was like, I'm a 15-year-old girl and I'm looking for new friends on this website. Will you guys follow me? And I was like, all right, this is very clearly like someone who's trying to do some internet vigilante justice.
They're trying to catch a predator.
They're trying to catch a predator. Yeah. So there is some there, and I found a few of them, and what they're going to do is like they're trying to trick dumb people. And I saw through it immediately. I was like, "Oh, you're trying to you're Chris Hansening this website."
Yeah, because they're going to fuck up and fall in love, and then find out they're bisexual. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, they're like a 40-year-old divorced guy who's going to find out he's bisexual and be like, I got I tricked this man into loving me, and I was pedo hunting, but now I'm catfishing, and I think I'm bisexual. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think they're because as I've said previously, the site is so damn broken. I think they're just assuming that it's like website. It's only a matter of time before the true weirdos find it. So I think they're.
I hope.
Oh yeah, well yeah, but no, I don't think so, because if I was a true weirdo and I went on that site, I would just go like, oh, this is like vanilla shit. Like, I'm not going to hang out here.
Okay, can we talk about some of the funny things about the website?
Let's talk about some of the funny things about the website. So, hey, everybody, welcome to First Social First Watch, where we talk about funny things we see on firstsocial.net. If you want a username and password, you don't even need a real email.
That's true. I spelled my email wrong on accident, so I can't ever verify the email address. And you know what? I don't think it's going to cause me a problem. I'll decide if I'm going to bleep this out later, but I am on FirstNet Social. What the fuck is the name of the site?
Firstsocial.net.
Because First Amendment.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Whoa, using that galaxy brain of yours.
Follow me. I'll decide if I cut that or not. Anyway, so you know Facebook, the main feed on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how it's like people you follow or like groups you're interested in? Yeah, this one doesn't have that. It's literally every post on the website. But don't worry, you won't see any of those because Tyler, the founder, has pinned 3 different posts on top of that. So when you reload the web, every time you so what'll happen is someone will be like, do you own a gun? Nah, I would never click on that. But imagine one that's like, I don't know, vaguely interesting, where they're like, so what do you think about Area 51? And you click on it to comment. It reloads into a new page. So you go to a new page and then you comment on it. And then when you go back, it doesn't take you back to where that comment is. It takes you to the top of the feed, which is frustrating. But also the top of the feed is an ad for First Social that's like, download our app, but it's not actually an app. It's just a link that you can save on your phone that will take you to the webpage. And then the second one is Tyler Webster selling a t-shirt. And then you scroll past that one. And the third one is a pinned tweet by Tyler Webster about how the site is good. And then the fourth one is the trending questions, which are all like, what's your favorite part of firstsocial.net? And I did click on all of those. And Tyler Webster himself did post all of them. So he is also posting all of the trending questions.
Yes.
And I like feel like it's got, because those questions are boring. I feel like it's gotta be some sort of thing where he's promoting those to the top, or maybe most people follow him because he started the website. I don't know. But the first 4 posts are just Tyler.
So,
and then you get back to where you started.
Yeah, to give people an idea of, so the first 4 posts are Tyler, and I just opened it right now, and here are some of the, because most of it is, it's comments and polls, and here are some of the polls.
Well, those are the only functions of the website, are comments and polls.
Yeah. Is Kamala borderline evil and obnoxiously smug? Yes.
Every
or
post.
Fuck yes.
It's guys. It's every post. Every other post is how long until Kamala becomes the real president and not.
Yeah. This
Joe
one
Vance,
I like is anyone think the
Speak
left will ever wake up? Never. Maybe when it's too late.
Yeah.
And you can just. Also, this one was interesting. This one says Candace Owens, Ted Cruz 2024. And obviously, I clicked no because that would be a nightmare situation. And it is 91% yes with 51 votes. This website is a cartoon of its own self. And
I think because it's trying to be like badass and rebellious, but it's all like boring suburban people.
Yeah.
There's no like weird tweakers from 4chan.
Yeah, no. This is not akin to an open mic night, which is where the best websites are in terms of finding the weirdos, like the ones that, they have a platform and they'll say anything. But yeah, these are all, it's the exact same comments over and over again where it's just like, man, I'll never trust the left or, stuff like that. So it's, it's boring.
Boring. Now I will tell you the conspiracy. Let me just run through the conspiracy group. Is Q right or just crazy? Okay.
It's pretty good.
Does anyone else feel like the elites are pushing us into a civil war? Oh, and then we have a post. What if QAnon was created by the CIA to distract from Epstein? Which was by me, and it's 3 paragraphs long explaining why.
Oh, that's where you messed up. They're not going to read all that.
Ooh, but here's the thing. I thought about that, so I broke it into very digestible. So, like, the first line is, "What if QAnon was created by the CIA to distract from Epstein? Hear me out." Then 1 paragraph, and then the next paragraph, I says, what effect does that have? Which is how Q talks. And then I have my second paragraph, and then the last paragraph is just a thought. So people will see that, get caught by the first couple, see the lines and be like, okay, this is readable. And then hear me. Anyway, the next post under mine is, anyone know where Nancy is? Boring. Fucking boring.
Absolutely boring. So that's what Sam and I have been working on over the course of this whole
I've been doing for a week.
And, the news has been really big, but there is only one piece of news that I'm the most excited about. And I'm going to tell you about this news in our news segment, I Watch Basketball, and So Should You. Hello, everyone. Welcome to I Watch Basketball, and So Should You, a show where I try to convince Sam to watch basketball, not because of the sport itself, but because of the people who play it. And today, I'm going to be talking about the biggest news of the day. And I'm not going to reveal any of the names because I want this to unfold naturally the way it happened chronologically, so you get the full effect. So, the end of this is, today there was a massive trade in the NBA, and I need you to not look this up because I don't understand why you would know any of these names, but there was...
I just watch hockey. I don't know basketball.
There was this massive trade in the NBA, and it put together 3 of the funniest dudes that have ever played the sport. And I'm going to explain it to you as it happened chronologically. So first and foremost, are you familiar with someone named Kevin Durant?
Of course.
Okay, so explain to the audience who may not know, who is Kevin Durant?
He used to play for OKC, the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Absolutely.
He's a big, tall, lanky boy.
Truly, yes.
He's very good at basketball and seems like an all-around nice guy. I like Kevin Durant.
Yeah, that is exactly right.
Oh, good. He's good still, right?
Yes. He, I would say, of this is going to be the hero. And I titled each of these players, and I'm calling Kevin Durant the sensitive kid. So
is it like the good, the bad, and the ugly? Is James Harden one of them?
So anyway, let's
well,
continue.
they used to play together, and they were great.
Yeah. So anyway, they did used to play together at OKC. You're exactly right.
At OKC.
So
the only season of basketball I've ever watched.
Yes.
The season where I cheered for OKC. It was great.
Yeah. So Kevin Durant, he used to play for the Supersonics. He was actually the last people that was drafted, the Supersonics. I just mentioned that because I love the name Supersonics so much, and I just want that team to exist again. The Supersonics got turned into OKC, which is fine.
And Seattle's still mad about it.
Yeah, Seattle is very mad about it. There's a whole story we're not getting into, but there's basically like Seattle still wants the Supersonics, but the people in power were like, no chance. So Kevin Durant,
he was on. I'm sorry, I don't mean to step on your bit. He was on the Golden State Warriors when they won, right?
Yes. But before that, he was on OKC. And so there is one piece of Kevin Durant that makes him into a bit of a villain.
Bummer.
He played for OKC for a while, and he did play with James Harden and this guy named Russell Westbrook.
He's great.
Yeah, 2 people that will come into play later. But so Golden State had this monstrous season in 2016 where they were absolutely running house. They actually have the record for the most games won, and they beat the 92 or the 95 Bulls, 96 Bulls.
Right.
And so they completely tore house, and in that they played the Oklahoma City Thunder in the final, not the finals, but in the playoffs, and they beat OKC. So OKC is eliminated. So Kevin Durant and all of his friends got eliminated by Golden State. Golden State went on to lose to LeBron James Cavaliers in 2016. So basically, like, that's one of the feathers in the hat of LeBron James is he beat the best team ever just by sheer force of will. And
as he does everything.
And when they lost, famously, Steph Curry, who is on Golden State Warriors, texted Kevin Durant and basically asked him to come play for them. And Kevin Durant left his own team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, to join the team that beat them for the sole purpose of winning rings. And
which he then went on to do.
He went on to win 2 championships in a row. And he played with Steph Curry as well as this guy named Klay Thompson and this other guy named Draymond Green. And they were like the 2017-2018 Golden State Warriors are basically the perfect teams. They are like unquestionably, like, they were like a machine on a mission. Every single person knew their role. Every single person did amazing, and they like changed the face of basketball forever because of
what was the last guy's name? Klay Thompson, and then who?
Klay Thompson and Draymond Green.
Sorry, I'm just getting some visual images.
Yes.
Got it.
Draymond Green was actually in the news recently. Someone, I don't know why, but someone was like, hey, what'd you think about the protesters at the Capitol? And he said, they're not fucking protesters. They're fucking terrorists. And then everyone went, okay. And it was just
fair point.
And it was like, tight. I don't know why we asked you that. You're a basketball player, but sick answer.
Yeah, weird that we brought up this news item.
Yeah, it's
but
like,
also
like tight.
Point.
Draymond Green is the best. But so during this time, and you may have heard about this, but
I promise you I have not.
You may have heard about what I'm about to say
Unless
next.
He's the guy that said, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
No, not Draymond Green, about Kevin Durant. You may have heard about this Kevin Durant thing. So Kevin Durant starts to get a little jealous because the media is not, as far as he knows, acknowledging him as much as they're acknowledging Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, the 2 that like basically form the team and the ones that started this whole 3-point revolution in basketball, because basketball was like a very 2-point game. Now it's a very 3-point game.
Well,
and
the NBA was a very 2-point game.
Yes. And
NCAA is 3-point game.
Yeah. And so it was kind of started by Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant like when people say the Golden State Warriors won, they never said Kevin Durant's team won. Like the way that with LeBron James won, it'd be like LeBron James's Cavaliers. It was never
Steph Curry is the face of that.
Exactly.
Team.
And it was never Kevin Durant. So around this time, Kevin Durant sends a tweet where he speaks about himself in the third person.
Oh, I have heard about this. Never mind.
Kevin Durant sends a tweet talking about himself in the third person, defending Kevin Durant and how much how good and a very good basketball player he is. And then he sends it from his actual account, which means
People
that
do that shit all the time.
He meant to switch to an alternative account, but he didn't. And then he was super embarrassed, and he like does not like talking about that in interviews at all. And so this is where we get the moniker of kind of the sensitive kid, where he just wants to be acknowledged. He wants to be the one who's like, this is my team. Like, I did it. These are my rings. Like, I'm the best player on this team. And all this having been said, Kevin Durant is one of the best players in the NBA right now.
He's like, really good at basketball.
He is incredibly exciting to watch. He's an incredible player. He basically has nothing to prove but to himself. So he's kind of like a sensitive boy. And
just a quick aside about alt accounts. Do you remember when Ted Cruz liked porn on Twitter on 9/11?
Yes. Of course I do. I think about
I just like to bring it up every once in a while.
I think about it every 9/11.
And then he was like, yeah, that was one of my interns. They've been fired. It was a mistake.
Dude, shout out to the intern
on your personal account.
Shout out to the intern that got the guillotine for that one.
One of your interns got on your personal account that's on your phone and liked porn on 9/11. That's what happened. I mean, like,
all right,
what?
Okay.
Whatever, Ted Cruz.
All right, sure, man.
Just quick aside, I like to bring that up all the time.
Yeah. So Kevin Durant, because he wants to make his own way, he wants to make his own team, he goes to the Brooklyn Nets. And then he very tragically tears his ACL, and he's out for a very long time. But this is the first season where he is back. So he's finally back. And the entire like face of basketball is just waiting to see what Kevin Durant does. So that is how he fits in the story. There is a second player who you may not have heard of because he's not as famous, but I think he'll be your favorite. There's a player named Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving was on that 2016 Cavaliers team that beat the Golden State Warriors. So cool. Kyrie Irving played with LeBron, and he is... people have called him the Kanye West of basketball. Do you remember that interview where Kanye West, he's with Sway in the morning, and Sway is trying to ask him something very calmly, and he goes, "How, Sway?"
Or why don't you empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself?
How, Sway?
Take a few steps back.
You ain't got the answers, man.
Like he just says that.
That's a very good interview.
That is Kyrie Irving's entire relationship to the media. It is that.
To be fair, Dennis Rodman is Kanye West of basketball.
Yes, but I would say that Dennis Rodman ran so that Kyrie Irving could also run.
Could fly. Okay, fine. I do already like this guy. I really like Kevin Durant, but I do like this guy. If he's anything like that Sway interview, I like him.
So he very recently, when the media are asking him questions, he referred to himself as the artist and the media as the pawns. And it came out of literally nowhere. They were just
dragon energy.
They were just like, oh shit. So he just kind of says stuff like that. And he also does a bunch of other weird things. So anyway, he moved he played for the Cavaliers. He got the 2016 championship. And he very famously does not like LeBron James because of the exact same reason, where they're LeBron's Cavaliers. And he thought that he's like, listen, man, I made all those big time shots. I'm the clutch time shooter. And to the credit, Kyrie Irving is the best clutch time shooter in the NBA currently.
I'm assuming he's very good at all these people are very good at basketball.
He's very, very good.
This is already shaping up to be whatever team these people are on, which I still don't know. Whatever, you've already convinced me.
Okay.
Because I can see the threads coming together. I'm like, this is my team. This is my team.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
So
Please continue.
Kyrie Irving moves to the Boston Celtics, and he has two incredibly tumultuous years. He is kind of known as a guy that will not talk to his teammates for 2 months straight. And the reason being is he's just like, you looked at me funny. And it's like, that's not a reason to what? And so he will like get into like all out altercations with his teammates a lot. And but the reason why I think that you'll like him the most is because Kyrie Irving very famously believes a lot in conspiracy theories.
Tight. I believe in things that are true, but sure.
So,
I believe in conspiracies.
So Kyrie Irving believes that there is a global banking cartel that is controlling the world's money and is trying to
vaguely anti-Semitic, but okay.
Yes, they're trying to decrease home values for the purpose of recreating some sort of like financial bubble, things like that. He believes the CIA hired Jamaicans to kill Bob Marley. And
one of the few people that CIA probably didn't kill. But sure. Actually, I don't know. I haven't looked it up.
Most famously, Kyrie Irving is a very outspoken believer in flat Earth.
I want to be clear. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I'm not talking about things that I'm pretty sure. I'm talking about documented facts that were like in the newspaper. I believe in conspiracy. Like Iran-Contra is not a conspiracy theory. It was a conspiracy that was uncovered.
I would like to read this quote to you by Kyrie Irving.
Please.
For what I've known for as many years, and what I've come to believe, what I've been taught, is that the earth is round. But I mean, if you really think about it from a landscape, as the way we travel, the way we move, and the fact that you can really think of us rotating around the sun and all the planets aligned, rotating in specific dates, pretty perpendicular on what's going on with all these planets and stuff like this. What? It's just absolutely. And then that was to the question, like, do you believe in the flat earth? And that was his answer. And
I've spent a lot of time listening to flat earth people, I will tell you.
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense. There wasn't like a
nope.
Well, I mean, what about the planes? They take a route.
Nope. He's just like
be the fastest.
He's just kind of so that's another big thing about Kyrie is he's kind of like he's a guy that's really big into energy and like transfer. He seems like the kind of guy that'd be really into crystals and like kind of like transfers of energy and stuff like that.
Spirit science.
Kind of a spirit science sort of guy. So basically, for moving on from that, he is best friends with Kevin Durant. They are the best friends in the whole wide world. And Kevin Durant wanted to go to Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets, where he plays for currently, but he said the only way he'll go there is if he brings his best friend Kyrie Irving along. And they thought to themselves, like this guy's kind of toxic, and this guy is known to be a pretty big problem, but Kevin Durant is one of the best players of all time, so I guess this is going to have to be the situation.
And he is good in the clutch,
so he is. So it's like,
I guess it's fine.
Yeah, and another thing that's important about this is that Kyrie Irving like is kind of the guy that he just seems like his mind is never on basketball. That he's kind of like man, I got bigger shit going on right now, and it's just like
astral projecting into the stars.
You're a professional basketball player, sir, and he's like, man, I got bigger shit going on. And it's just like, okie dokie.
Cool vibe.
But yeah, he's a great guy.
I like Kyrie Irving.
He's a big philanthropist. He's donated raised $1.5 million for the WNBA players that didn't want to play in the tournament last year because they were protesting the George Floyd murder. So he's a really great guy. He seems like he has a lot of stuff going on. He is extremely contentious to the media, and he has, as I think you said earlier, a lot of dragon energy. Yeah,
he is dragon energy. That sounds great.
So these two players, these two titans, one Kevin Durant with the fake Twitter, and Kyrie Irving with the "I'm better than LeBron James" type energy. They are joined onto one team, and every single person that in the NBA is like so excited about this because it's just like, how in the fresh hell are these two going to work together? And also, why are they friends? But let's continue on.
Wait, before we move to our third person, you said they all three have nicknames. The sensitive one, the sensitive kid,
and I called him the Kanye West of basketball.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just thought that was a description. Yes, the Kanye West of basketball.
Yeah.
Got it.
So what's important about this is there's another thing that happened this past summer before they started playing again in the bubble. And that is that Kevin Durant has a podcast. And he has a podcast with Kyrie Irving.
Oh.
And this podcast is called the ETC. I do not know what that stands for. I'm assuming the etc. I don't know. I've only heard clips of this podcast. I do not know what the ETC stands for. Okay. But very famously, Kyrie Irving describes himself. Kevin Durant is they're talking each other up. They're complimenting each other, and Kevin Durant is like, "Man, you're the best. You're the best shooter of all time. You like there is no person that like is better shooter than me, and like better shooter." And then Kyrie says something along the lines of, "Yeah, every single team I've played for, I've wanted me to have the ball just because I'm the most competent player on every team I've played for." And everyone's like, "You played with LeBron James." But you know, like I think
you're forgetting somebody.
Yeah, but he is just like, yeah, I've like every team I've been on, I've been the only one that I trust to like actually finish and like, you know, get the point. And
to be fair, you're the only person that you're in charge of,
and you're you're actually the only person that can't pass the ball to yourself. So like.
You're the only one whose body you're in control of, so I guess you trust yourself. That makes sense.
Yeah, so, but also very famously, Kyrie, when talking to Kevin, said they don't need a coach, which is really funny because they just got a new coach. And that coach's name is Steve Nash. Are you familiar at all with Steve Nash?
I have heard of Steve Nash.
Steve Nash is a two-time MVP player from the aughts, the 2000s to the 2010s. He played for the Phoenix Suns. He got 2 MVPs. He played with Shaq. He is an incredibly talented player, and he just became the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. And then like the very next week, they come out with this podcast where they say something along the lines of, yeah, we don't really need a coach. Like some days I'll be the coach. Someday Kevin will be the coach. Someday, you know, anybody can be the coach, but you know, we're not really the type of team that needs a coach. Mind you, at this point, they had not played a game together.
I was gonna ask. They're not yet on the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, they're on the
Brooklyn Nets, and Kyrie. At this point, Kyrie had played a season with them, but because Kevin tore his ACL, he couldn't play. So at this point in time,
Kevin was never the coach.
Yeah, at this point in time, they had not played a game together, and they just got a new coach, and they were just like, yeah, you know, we're the kind of like, you know, we're kind of like Jazz, baby. Like we don't really need a coach. Like some teams need a coach. That's not us.
This is going to go well.
So now they've openly disrespected Steve Nash, who just became the coach, in front of the world to everyone.
And he's also, from what I understand, very good at basketball.
Very good at basketball, but you know, who's to say what he has to offer as a coach yet? Because the season he had, this is his first season. You know, you got to do some learning and stuff like that. But now let's get to the season. So the season very famously starts with a game between the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics.
The bubble, right? That happened.
No, this is now happening. The bubble ended like 2 months ago, and we are now on to the next season. So they are no longer in the bubble.
My friends who work in sports, the brothers,
yes.
They were in the bubble.
That must have been so wild.
I did not watch a single game.
Yeah,
but I kept up with them because they were like, yeah, we can't leave our hotel for 90 days. So we're here, like 100 and something days, because they were also like setting up, because they were on camera, so they were setting up and tearing down.
Yeah.
So, you know what? That's funny because one of the brothers just posted something about it. He's like, wasn't I just here? Mm-hmm. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
He's back in the bubble.
Well, there's actually not a bubble. But
he's back at the NBA.
Yeah, they're playing. Yeah, because the seasons, the break between the seasons is so incredibly short.
Yeah.
And so, you know, players that are injury prone are not playing a lot because they're scared they're going to break their damn bones because they only had like a month off. They have a game, and Kyrie, they're playing the Boston Celtics at the Boston Garden. Kyrie very famously played for the Celtics, and his first order of business is he walks out onto the court burning sage, and he's burning sage, and he's walking the length of the court just with this sage burning, and then someone's like, hey, what?
Hey, what's up?
And he is like, I'm cleaning out the negative energy that I got from this place. You know, I had some pretty hard times here at Boston, so I just want to make sure that the air is clean before I play here again.
Tight.
And so that happens. It is incredibly weird.
Dragon energy, man.
It's dragon energy. It's incredibly weird. Anyway.
It's incredibly weird.
Incredibly weird. All this to say, these clowns right now, as they're recording this podcast, they're 6-6. They've won 6 games. They've lost 6 games, and
that's not good.
They're billed to be like, these two players were billed to be like the greatest team of all time because they are two incredibly talented players, and they were supposed to challenge LeBron James and Anthony Davis because LeBron James and Anthony Davis are two incredible players. And Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are two incredible players. So they're posed up to be, it's like, this will finally be the foil of LeBron James. They'll finally conquer him. And they're not doing great. And one of the reasons...
Which is wild because he played basketball for like 7 years without winning a ring. So he was conquered before.
Yeah. One of the reasons that they're not doing very well, and this has happened this previous week, is Kyrie Irving hasn't played a game all week. And they've only been playing for 2 weeks. Some of the reasons why he didn't want to play was because he was going to his sister's birthday party. No one was wearing masks, obviously. He decided not to go to a game because he was doing a fundraiser on a Zoom call for the someone who's running for the district attorney of the Manhattan area. The Zoom call happened at the exact same time as the game, so people could feasibly watch his Zoom call at the same time as they were watching his team play. And
that's cool.
When they asked him if he was coming back anytime soon, he said, maybe. So that's kind of what's going on.
So he has COVID, is what you're saying?
No, he just...
What you outlined is a guy who's hiding he has COVID. He went to a birthday party, no one wore masks.
Yeah.
And now he's just like laying low for 2 weeks.
Well, so he is like going to practices and stuff. But he just doesn't seem to want to be playing the games right now, which is honestly super typical. Like, it's like one of those things where it's like, you know what? We should have known this. Like,
I'd never heard of this guy until tonight, and I'm going to tell you that sounds like a thing.
It definitely does. But we need to move to the big thing. This is what happened today. And it's gonna take a little bit of background. So these are 2 players that are on the same team. And we finally get to the final player in this trifecta.
Oh, I thought Steve Nash was the third player.
No.
Oh.
There's a player who I'm calling the Prince, and his name is James Harden.
Of course.
James Harden, as you said previously, used to play with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook at OKC. And
they were really good.
They were very good, but I'm calling him the Prince because James Harden got a little big for his britches, and then he wanted to go to the Rockets. And he was with the Houston Rockets, and while he was with the Houston Rockets, he was their special little boy. He got literally every single thing he wanted. So much so, even last season,
like a little prince.
Last season, he demanded that Russell Westbrook come and play for the Rockets. And then when he did, Russell Westbrook and him got into so many fights that Russell Westbrook demanded a trade. And now he does not play for the Rockets anymore because his relationship with James Harden was so contentious.
But they were all friends.
Why was this relationship so contentious?
He's a little prince.
James Harden is known for not coming to practice, not coming to like watch film of the previous game, and very famously, not showing up to flights on time, and then demanding that everyone wait at the runway for him, and he has been like 1 to 2 hours late. This happens frequently. And
I watched 1 season of basketball, and you're tearing it all away from me.
Yeah, well, James Harden has changed a lot because
the 3 of them were so great together. I loved it. It was so much fun.
He has been the little prince in Houston for a very long time, and so because of the way that he plays, which is very singular, very him focused, he has never won a championship, and he's, just kind of a selfish...
Like LeBron James for several years.
Yeah, he's just kind of a selfish boy, and he does things, and this is the thing that got me the most. So James Harden is kind of known as, like, a little brat. He's kind of he's a little stinker. This previous offseason, so there's this thing where they have a training camp, and you have to show up to training camp to train and to like get ready for the season. James Harden very famously this season did not show up to training camp because he was flying to Atlanta to go to Lil Baby's birthday party. And then he's a rapper. And then got onto another plane and flew to Las Vegas. So flew past Houston, where he was supposed to be, to go to several strip clubs. So he missed the entirety of the season. And then when he finally showed up for a game, mind you, has not practiced, has not shown up for the team at all. He shows up somehow 15 pounds heavier. And there are pictures of him kind of online of him just like with this like
that James Harden. Yeah,
that James Harden literally out of nowhere. Like he must have just put all this on in a month just to spite the Rockets because he was
that was a whole thing.
He was demanding a trade the whole time. And because of this, he's got fat and then he has like not been showing up to practice. He like the other week, he got into like a bit of a scuffle with one of his teammates and he threw a ball as fast as he could and hit the guy in the head. And just, stuff like that. So that's been kind of his whole deal,
James
apart
Harden.
from missing film, not showing up to practice, and not showing up to flights. He also throws basketballs at players' heads and kind of demands everything in the world from this team, and then, still doesn't do a lot. And he's been like demanding this trade the whole time. But the problem with demanding a trade is like, he's the franchise player of that organization, so you can't just give him away. Like the entire economy is based around this guy. So
it's like LeBron James.
Yeah, they can't just give up this guy for nothing. So they're kind of like shopping around, seeing if they can get any, because you want to trade a superstar for a superstar. That's it. That's the only way that this is going to work. And this all leads up to last night. They lose a game against LeBron James and the Lakers. And
the Nets lose the game?
No, the Houston Rockets, because he's on the Houston Rockets.
I just didn't know.
The Houston Rockets lose a game to the Lakers, and James Harden throws a bit of a hissy fit in front of the media, and he says, like, you know what, there's nothing salvaging this relationship. I can't stand being here anymore. And he goes, okay, and he just leaves. He leaves the interview. And that's kind of his whole vibe. And then today, it was announced that this boy, the Prince, just got traded to the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh my gosh!
So he is traded. He's traded to the Brooklyn Nets. And this
is going to be a disaster.
They only got Houston traded for 8 first-round picks from like a bunch of other teams. It was a massive trade between So Houston is getting a lot of first-round picks, but the problem with those first-round picks is it doesn't all guarantee it's going to be a James Harden. So, basically they traded him away for the hypothetical chance they may have someone in the future because he was so toxic in the locker room. They were just like, you got to get out. Like you got to leave. And
but the thing is, but here's the thing. Like you said, James Harden was the star of the Rockets, didn't win any championships.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron was the star of the Cavaliers for years, didn't win any championships. It wasn't until he went to the Heat and played with other good players that he actually won.
Yeah.
So, the idea of trading away your star player for a better group of players, I don't know shit about basketball, but, it seems like, again, what was it? OKC almost won their first season because they had those 3 guys.
Yeah, which was by a miracle those guys all came there.
Yeah, that was wild. But the Golden State Warriors, it's not just Steph Curry, right? It's the 3 of them. So the idea of having several really good players instead of one, I think pans out at least in recent years.
So here's the main issue though, as I think you've garnered from this whole thing. And when I saw this news, I immediately was like, they have just created a black hole of talent. That this is the densest area of talent in the NBA maybe ever. And it is the 3 worst egos of all time crashing into each other. We have
3 people who are mad that it's not all about them all day.
Yes. 3 people who are always mad it's not about them crashed into each other, 2 of which play the same position. And they're just going to have...
Wait, who plays the same position?
It's James and Kevin both play the same position. So,
oh, no!
Yeah, so...
My friends!
they're just going to have to deal with it, I guess. And meanwhile, as all this is going on, Kyrie Irving is throwing a hissy fit and like doing these like kind of on his own sort of life
Burning
path.
sage.
He's on his own sort of life path right now. And
Getting
then,
COVID.
you know, I just imagine, you know, Kevin is just like, I'm with my friends like this, because he's such a sweet, good boy.
Sensitive kid.
But yeah, if I were to recommend you getting into the NBA, it is just to watch these three clowns and like not even have to watch the games. Just be aware of the stories that are coming out of their relationship with each other. And just like,
that's wild.
Because like all of them, Kevin has that weird thing where he like, you know, is so conscious that he makes a fake Twitter to defend himself. Meanwhile, James Harden and Kyrie Irving both have incredibly contentious relationships with the media.
It's like two divorced parents and Kevin is the kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to be screaming at each other all the time. He's like, oh man, are you guys mad because of me? That's what's going to happen.
So this has the ability to either be the greatest team of all time or the greatest train wreck of all time. And
let's hope for both.
Only us, the audience, like benefits from this, because like the growing pains of them all having to learn to work together is going to be it's going to be the best. I am so excited for like the rest of this season. And I want them to make it to the playoffs solely because I want them to be in a bubble or whatever, just having to work with each other. And
right, also losing their mind because of coronavirus.
And also because both Kyrie and James Harden have very publicly gone to events without wearing masks with like hundreds of people and just being like, meh, whatever. Which makes sense because one of them believes in a flat earth. So like that makes sense. And you know,
Kyrie Irving,
James Harden is just a brat. So he probably did it just to like be a little stinker.
There's 100% chance that Kyrie Irving believes in the pandemic. 100%.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. He probably has a handler it's probably a good thing he doesn't talk to the media that much because his handler was like, don't talk about that shit. Do not talk about that.
Like, hey, can he do an interview? Be like, no, he's been talking about Bill Gates for like an hour and a half.
So we're like, no.
Don't want to.
Yeah, he's definitely an anti-vaxxer.
For the sake of the team, we just can't.
Yeah. So that is all of this happened today, and like it took, you know, a while to explain to you why all of that is so important. But the second I saw that message pop up on Twitter, I was like, this is the greatest news. Like, I know that Donald Trump was impeached for the second time, but this is the news that it has brought me much more joy, is knowing that these three clowns are going to have to learn how to play together.
Well, the thing is, hockey is starting next Thursday, so I will be pretty busy with my only sport of the year.
I will.
But I might make some time for basketball, because I got to figure out a service to watch hockey anyway, because, like, the Preds fucked up their media contract, and so literally it's, like, only on cable. Like, they fucked it up with the streaming services, so no one is streaming it. So, like, I guess I just have to brave the COVID apocalypse and go to a bar to watch these games. I know, but, like,
they got you. They got you in a bind.
I don't have cable. What am I going to get cable for this? I guess I can get cable. Anyway, I'm going to figure something out.
Yeah.
And watch hockey. But while I'm at it, maybe I'll watch basketball too.
So, if this is a recurring segment, basketball is made of stories like that, where it's just these people that have, because of the age of Twitter, they just have the strangest egos of all time. One of these days, I will tell you the story of the beef between Dame Lillard and Paul George, which is my favorite thing that is happening in the NBA right now. So
I've never heard of those two people. So yeah,
just so many fun stories, so many fun people. But and also the audience, you get involved too. If you have any more fun NBA things that are happening, or you don't watch it at all, you know, you don't have to watch the games. Just watch it for the drama. And it truly is like, if you like us, probably we're a fan of Reality Check. The NBA is just like The Bachelor, but with professional players, and you also get some exciting gameplay out of it, but you also get to watch them lose their minds.
Yeah, it's great. Also, it's that time of the year, so if you're a Blackhawks fan, fuck you.
So anyway, that's our show. Thank you all so much for listening to Get Better. You can find us on Instagram at Get Better Podcast. That's at Get_Better_podcast. You can also find us on YouTube through just search Get Better Podcast. And you can find clips of our show as well as the full episodes. And if you would like to, please rate and review us on iTunes, and please continue to search and listen to us on Spotify. It really helps to get our names out there. And if you want to find us on First Social, please don't. I imagine that site is going to steal your data immediately, so please 100%. Do not go onto that.
Or make a fake account with a fake email and join us. There are a lot of, I've made a lot of communist friends on First Social. It's pretty much just boring MAGA people and communists, so that part's cool.
And if you really want to know that, please message us on MeetTheFockers2 at FockedUp. MeetTheFockers2 FockedUp@gmail.com. That is where you can email us. And then we will tell you what our usernames are.
Yeah, because I'm definitely going to bleep them out at this point.
Anyway, that's all we have. So see you guys next week.
All right.
See you by tomorrow. What?